Things you need when reloading. Can't forget safety glasses. This will help you not lose an eye. Help. Doesn't mean you're not going to lose one. Set of calipers. An adjustable wrench. Size 13 millimeter open box wrench. Resizing lube. A form of checking powder weight. A form of dispensing powder into the casings. Seating primers. A press. And a set of dies. Now, it doesn't matter what kind of dies you get. Yes, because you have to get them for your caliper, but other than that, it don't matter. They all basically do the exact same thing. Of course, some of them are I don't want to say a lot better, but their design, as in for the Lee, it's good value for your buck. All right, you get a scoop, a shell holder, and your depriming, flaring, and bullet seating. Now, when you start going with expensive die sets, you get less and less dies. Some of them just come with 2 dies. Some of them will come with all 3 dies. Some of them don't come with the shell holder. A lot of them don't come with the scooper. Oh, and don't forget, you're gonna need a reloading manual. Now, good thing about the Lee is that there's already data for that caliber you're reloading. Second thing, it gives you load data and what powders to use for the size of the projectile. And it shows you how to set up your dies and what each die is for. Now, I will recommend Lee for new beginners for multiple reasons. One, it gives you what you need. As in, I could buy this whole die set and a press, and I can start reloading. I don't have to buy individual components, whether I have to buy the 2 dies, then the shell plate or the shell holder, and I'm racking up money. Now, this video is for people that are starting to reload. What I recommend, what I regret doing, or I should have bought sooner instead of multi-buying. Now, I bought this hand press thinking, you know what, if I don't like reloading, then it wasn't expensive. I paid at the time like $60, less than $60 for this. Now, did it do its job? Yes. Did it get me to liking reloading even though it was super difficult? Yes. When I say difficult, once you start doing rifle cartridges in this, trust me, you're gonna break a sweat. Now, where I used to live, I had a small, tiny area. This used to be my reloading table. It's portable. I set up everything in it. I left it in a corner. Now, when I used to clean my brass, I used to just get a bucket, put just soap and water, hot water and soap. I'll clean my brass that way. Let them dry in the sun. Give them 2 days and then get it ready for deep prime. Now, the reason why I said I regret buying this was because for the same price, I could have just bought this single stage press. Now, this is a lot easier when it comes to doing rifle cartridges. But when it comes to handgun cartridges, it's super easy. A lot easier than this. Now, at the time, I was like, okay, I'll just get this. And then I bought a digital scale. I bought the funnel. I got the Lee resizing lube. And I bought the priming kit, which on this one, it came with all that. It came with this. It came with priming and unpriming. It came with a lot more than buying individually. If I would have bought the bundle, I would have saved not a ton of money, but I would have saved somewhat of money. Now, do I still use this? Yes, I still use it. I take this to the range. I semi do rifle cartridges, but not really. This is more of a load development when I want to go to the range and just try out different loads. This is what I usually take would be this hand press, a set of dies, digital scale, and the funnel. Oh, and the priming. That's all I take. Oh, and the lube. Can't forget lube, guys. And gals. Oh, and the set of calipers. Can't forget that either. Because you need to know how far or how much to seat the bullet. Now, like I said, there's a million ways to do things. This is just my way, how I do things. And what I regret of doing multiple purchases instead of just one purchase. Now, did this work out for me? Yes, it did. Did I have the space for this? Of course, because I had the space for this, which was on the table. Now, Lee die sets may not be the best dies if you're trying to do competition shooting, but they get the job done. There's really no difference besides the design of the dies. So some of them will have locking rings, either with the drilled hole here, and it has, I believe, like a set screw, so you could just clamp it in, or it'll have a screw that will pinch this locking nut so it doesn't move once you have it adjust to the proper depth. It's not bad. Always wear your glasses. Oh, and a dispense. I got this a lot later. I got tired of measuring each cartridges. I wanted to be a little bit faster. But what I do is I set it with this digital scale. Every 10 rounds, I check the powder. Now, am I doing a lot of work? Yes. Is reloading easy? No. The reason why I say that is because a lot of things come into factor. Now, you got to use the right primer for whatever you're reloading. Next, you got to make sure that either your digital scale, your manual scale, or whatever type of scale or dispense, powder dispense you got, is dispensing the proper powder. Because you could double charge or charge and a half a case without knowing. And that's when you get into, I don't want to say fatal accidents, but that's when accidents do happen. Because you're trying to cram as fast as you can ammunition so you could have a lot at the range. Just take your time. Take your time. There's no rush. Everybody's trying to have fun. No one wants to get to the range and an accident happens and bam, bad experience. Take your time reloading. You're not trying to beat anybody else. Everybody's just trying to have fun. Next thing with reloading is whether you use a hand or a single stage press or whichever die sets you get, make sure you clean the die sets. Because if you don't clean the inside, you'll start having trouble where the casings start getting stuck. And that's because of all the gunk. Or you get streaks and then your casing will look like you over lubed it, and then it'll start getting wrinkles all over the body of the casing, and you don't want that, because then your brass will not last as long. The next thing is, I recommend just to get a manual. Doesn't have to be this one. It's just a manual. Unless you get the Lee set, then it comes with the manual, so you're saving money. And the name of the game is to try to save as much money as you can, because reloading does get expensive if you're reloading the wrong way. Now, the reason why I say that is it's like I went from this to this. Now imagine if I was to go buy the whole complete set of this, to buy the whole complete set of this, to buy the whole complete set of the next stage, a turret press, and then a progressive press, then it will be an extreme waste of money when it goes from one thing to another to another. Now, is a single stage press fast? It's faster than a hand press, but you're not trying to crank out 1,000,000 rounds in one day. Take your time, because regardless, if you cut corners, and I don't care who you are, every corner you start cutting, you're gonna do circles. Now, what I tell people when they're buying their first firearm is, I tell them, don't look at the price of the firearm. Regardless if you spend $300 to $4,000, that's a one-time purchase, unless you blow up your firearm. But a firearm is the least expensive item. Now, everybody's all like, 89. Why do you say that? Easy. The firearm you purchase once. Now, your cartridges or your rounds or your ammunition is purchased every single time. Now, I'm pretty sure if you're a frequent shooter, if you go to the range twice a month, once a month, every quarterly year, and you're shooting anywhere from 500 to 1,000 rounds, you pretty much paid for your gun. Or shouldn't say gun, I should say your firearm. You pretty much paid for your firearm, whether it's a rifle or a handgun, because this adds up. Now, let's say it's 50 cents a round. All right, you're gonna be like, well, it's only 50 cents a round, or 25 cents a round, or I'm doing it for $1 a round. Now, it's $1 a round. How many rounds do you think you shoot? Now, let's say you shoot 1,000 rounds every time you go to the range for $1. That's $1,000. Your firearm cost you $300. You just spent $1,000. So remember, when you're buying a firearm, the firearm is the least expensive thing you're gonna purchase, due to the fact that you're gonna need ammunition for it. Now, that's not including if you put optics or iron sights or whatever you do, modifications to the firearm. It's the ammunition that's always gonna be expensive. Yes, it's not expensive if you're getting ammunition that's $10, $20, $30. It doesn't seem like it, but it adds up. When you're making components, you're not wasting just $50. You're wasting $200, $300, $400. And when a first time gun buyer they ask me, hey, what kind of firearm should I get? What caliber should I get? I tell them, look, get a firearm that you're going to be able to afford. Not the firearm itself, but the ammunition. Because a box of .338 Lapua, the cheapest I've seen it is $40 for 10 rounds. And 4570, the cheapest I've seen it go for a box of 20 would be around $46, $47. Now, due to ammo crisis this year and how everything's going, everything's jacked up in price. I seen people buying a box of 50 of 9mm for $35. That's ridiculous. That's 3 times the amount of what it's initially worth. I've seen 9mm go for $9 to $10. Now you're telling me $35. This is why I suggest that when you buy your firearm, try to buy a firearm that you could purchase ammunition for, and not just one box, but multiple boxes. You can't go wrong with that. Because if you get a firearm that the cartridge is just not available, it's special order, then you're going to pay a ton of money for all of it. So if you reload, your main components that you physically need besides the stuff to make your round will be a caliber, some type of press, resizing lube, a funnel, seat primer, tools for the die set to put on your press, a decent set of calipers. If you get the Lee, it comes with loading for each size of your projectile, just how much powder and what powder to use. But if you do, I recommend a loading manual. It has for every round. You don't have to worry about it if you don't get the Lee set, or you get the, what is that, RCBS sets, or Lyman, or Hornady, or whatever the fact is. Just get yourself a decent set. And I was about to forget, a loading block. You don't need it, but it comes in handy. Catch you later.